Right, topic of today's video, not an easy one to talk about, which is exactly why I want to talk about it in a way. This week we had the online safety bill, and an aspect of that was trying to stop under 18s from accessing adult entertainment. I'm going to use certain language in this video because YouTube doesn't like certain words, which is obviously only a good thing, right? We know the damage that this stuff can do to under 18s. But I think we need to be having a broader conversation about this stuff in general, not just for under 18s. I kind of hear the same sort of arguments that we used to have. You know, you remember when people would say, you know, like, oh, back in the 60s and 70s, weed, you know, it's just weed, isn't it? Just a bit of weed, it's harmless, just smoke a bit of weed, it's not really an issue. But then realising that the stuff that the kids are smoking nowadays is completely different, 100 times stronger than the crappy little bit of hash that you used to get in the 60s. And I kind of see similar themes with that and the adult entertainment that is easily accessible nowadays. You know, there's always just a little bit of a jokey, harmless nature around this stuff, isn't it? Oh, you know, it's just a mucky movie or something. And, you know, back then it was, you know, we've all heard the jokes about the magazine that was in the local park bush for everyone to go down and find and take a look at. If you were lucky enough to have a mate that might have a naughty little VHS, you can pass that around and stuff. And it was, you know, it was generally harmless and good fun. But I just don't think it's harmless and good fun anymore. Like a lot of things in this social media internet age, it has exploded into a whole new different monster. Back then you had a little look at a magazine, or once a week you get your hands on a VHS. Now, within seconds, you have access to the hardest material that you'll ever see. Men in 2025 can have access to more beautiful women in the space of an hour than men 100 years ago would in their entire lifetime. This is a radical change, But have you also noticed that it's just everywhere now? It is everywhere, all over social media. Now, we know that the hardcore stuff has been all over Twitter for years now. But Instagram now, you're only a few clicks away from softcore content. Facebook, you can't even go look for a chest of drawers on Facebook Marketplace now with this stuff being thrown down your throat. Even Strava, a harmless running app to record your runs, is not immune from this stuff floating down on your feed. It's damaging to young kids, and it's damaging to the older folks as well. Married men that are constantly looking at the most beautiful women in the world. You know, I'm sure your wife back home is beautiful, but she's got to try and suddenly compare with every single variety of beautiful women in the whole world. Men are getting desensitized to this stuff. Marriages are breaking down. Sex lives are breaking down. It's happening. But people don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing. Porn addiction is a real thing. Addiction to this stuff is a real thing. It's real. But I think most men would probably openly admit to an alcohol dependency before they'd admit to a dependency on this stuff. Okay, you're not going to be robbing your mum's gold ring to try and pay for online adult entertainment and stuff like that, but it still has insanely damaging effects to your dopamine levels, desensitization, your sex life, your marriage, all this stuff. And that's the older men. The youngsters now are going to be desensitized at such an early age. And like I say, it's just the wide availability of it. You can't go through any bit of social media now without being a few flicks away. You're watching YouTube right now. It's on YouTube. It's, you know, you're only a few clicks away from seeing some softcore stuff on YouTube. Although, it does make me laugh actually. YouTube have some of the more sort of stronger regulations on this stuff, but it is actually, you have to hold out props to these women of finding unique ways of putting their content out on YouTube. YouTube have very strong guidelines, but there's little loopholes. And one of those loopholes that I've noticed is you're allowed to do educational videos on how to pump breast milk for up and coming mums. So they just do videos on how to express breast milk. You got to hand it to them. And this is the next line, and the next thing that I want to talk about is all these things on social media, on Facebook, the reels on Instagram. They're all fishing hooks. They're all fishing hooks from women with OF accounts that want to latch men in, and then suddenly you're their new online girlfriend. Yes, we're in the world of virtual girlfriends now. with OF. Virtual girlfriends are a thing. Now, there's good and bad things about this website. One of the good things is that whole industry, which used to be controlled by men, was insanely misogynistic and masculine, and men producers of this content were the ones taking the money and abusing the women, having full control. Well, now it's the complete opposite. With this website, OF, the women have got control. They do what they want to do with whoever they want. They control everything and every aspect of the money. So that side of it is an improvement, but the connotations are just god awful. This site is ruining marriages. It's causing incredible addiction, costing men sometimes thousands of pounds through addiction to these unrealistic virtual girlfriends. The temptation is too much to have a virtual girlfriend that will laugh at your jokes, that will always call you handsome, will do whatever they want for you, never be tired, never be stroppy, never get angry with you. And they're the dangers for married men. But then for youngsters, it's even worse. And the world that we live in now, where it's everything, you can stay at home for everything. I've done a video about this before, about the lack of social interactions in the modern world and how we desperately need more real life social interactions. And this just feeds on the opposite side. You know, now we can work from home, we can order our food to home, we can order our Amazon packages to home, and now we can have a virtual online girlfriend, and we don't have to go through the hassle and the embarrassment of dating in real life. But it's a soulless quest. It's a soulless quest, because deep down, you know, men are not morons. Deep down, they know these girls are doing this for money. They don't really want to answer their messages. They don't really want to send them these videos or these pictures. It's a soulless quest. And men know that deep down. And this is the problem. Now, I don't know how you solve this problem of the online content, the hard stuff, the soft stuff, the OF pages. You know, I've never been a fan of banning things. I've always been an advocate of legalizing drugs, for instance, because I think when they're regulated and we take tax from them would be far greater than handing it over to criminals to run. And I feel exactly the same thing about this industry. If this industry was made illegal and driven underground, I mean, it would just be god awful. It would be absolutely awful for the women involved. So I don't believe in banning or really tight regulations on this stuff. This technology is here to stay. There's nothing we can do about it. But what we can do about it is talk. And that's the biggest problem right now. And this is what I started the video with. You know, we don't talk about these issues. We're embarrassed to talk about these issues. Yeah, we just need to talk about it. We need to talk about these issues and not be embarrassed to talk about it. Like I said earlier, you know, men will be far more likely to admit to an alcohol dependency or a drug dependency than a porn dependency. But it's there, man. I mean, all you need to do is just look at the viewing figures that these porn videos get. And, you know, everyone's watching it, but no one's talking about it. Anyway, till next time, take care.